Hi everyone, my name is Markos. I'm one of the TAs for Econ 2A and I'm going to be going through the next few sections with you guys. So the first one is just about kind of the annoying thing about the price elasticity of demand. So before we even interpret the elasticity, we have to mention the negative sign in front of it. So economists and our textbook both drop this negative sign to the detriment of students' understanding. In this class, answers with or without the negative sign are both acceptable. So dropping the negative sign just means that you're taking the absolute value of the elasticity. So the absolute value function just takes any number and returns its positive number. And it's denoted with these two pipes, these two straight lines. So if you look here, the absolute value of -2 would just be 2. Absolute value of 5 would be 5 since it's already positive. And then the absolute value of 0 is just 0. If you look at here, an example of calculating elasticity, I know you guys won't be asked to actually do the calculations, but this is how it would look like. So here's a scenario. So let's say that the price of tickets rises from $400 to $500. And at the same time, the number of business travelers from Boston to Los Angeles declines from 2000 to 1800. What is the price elasticity of demand for business travel? So solving an elasticity problem requires 3 steps. So first is figure out the percent change of the numerator, which is going to be the percent change in quantity demanded. And then you would figure out the percent change of the denominator, which is just the percent change in price. And then you would divide those two. So that's all you would do, just find the percent change from the quantity demanded, which is just the percent change here. And then you find the percent change in price, which is up here. And then you divide the two, and that's how you get elasticity. And then here is how you interpret elasticities. Something is considered elastic if its absolute value of elasticity is greater than 1. That means that it's very responsive to a change in the determinant. It's inelastic if it has an elasticity between 0 and 1, which means that it's not very responsive to a change in the determinant. And this is kind of similar to the non-technical terms of elasticity we've been using, which is springy versus non-springy. So, and then here are some more specific interpretations of price elasticity of demand. We know that if something has an elasticity of 0, that means that it's perfectly inelastic. A change in price has no effect on demand. If it has an elasticity between -1 and 0 or between 0 and 1, that means that it's inelastic. A relatively large change in price leads to a small change in demand. And if it has an elasticity of exactly -1 or 1, that means that it's unit elastic. And then if it has an elasticity less than -1 or an absolute value greater than 1, that means that it's elastic. A relatively small change in the price leads to a large change in demand. And it's extremely negative when the elasticity approaches -infinity or the absolute value approaches infinity, which means that any increase which means that it's perfectly elastic, and any increase in price above a certain amount leads to no goods being demanded.